All right, here we go, Part two now, part two of what is the way. All right, remember what I said about relaxing? See, I need to relax too. I need to relax. I hope you're trying to relax. Relax your body, relax your mind, relax your spirit. Just general relaxing, you know? Got my tomato juice here. Got my penguin here. Got my penguin. Penguin's name is Mel. Hello. Say hello to YouTube. Right. So I hope everyone is pretty nice and relaxed now. I hope you're nice and open to new ideas, to new thoughts, open to letting go. Right? Because that's essentially what this is going to be about. Is you have to relax, you have to let go. You have to let go of your fears, your desires, right? I said that in the last video, I'm going to say it again. You have to let go of these things. You have to let go. That's essentially what the way is, right? And I'm going to try to use a lot of different metaphors and analogies to explain what the way is and, you know, how to get there. And, you know, there's lots of different teachers, yogis, gurus out there that have used different analogies before, and I'm going to borrow a lot of them. But essentially, it's all the same, very simple concept. And I think everyone really knows what the way is already, but life has just built up so much stuff, so much thoughts, emotions for us, that it's made a lot of us forget, right? And maybe some of you already know what the way is. Some of you have experienced it before. Maybe some of you haven't. But I hope that by sharing with you what I believe the way is, how I see it, how a lot of other different gurus see it, I hope by sharing these insights and by sharing with you the proper way to, well, not the proper, there's lots of different ways to walk the way. You know, there are different methods, there's different meditations, and you know, like I did ayahuasca, other people will have their own methods. But the way is still the way for all of them. It's still the same way. It will differ, you know, because people are different, they have different needs, but at the end of the day, the way is the way. And to walk the way is, it will look slightly different for everybody. It will look slightly different for you and the next person who sees this, but at the end of the day, we're all going to the same place, the same destination, and that destination is godhood, enlightenment, becoming Buddha, becoming Jesus Christ-like, you know, a prophet, however you want to call it, you know, achieving nirvana. Yeah, I mean, that's all the ways I can think of for describing, the simple ways of describing it for now. But let's get into some more complex descriptions. So the description that resonates with me the most is a night sky. Right. When you look at the night sky, it's very beautiful, right? You're kind of like a true night sky, not like you're looking up at it from a city where there's so much light pollution. Like if you go out into the middle of the ocean or like into a vast desert and you look up, there's no light pollution there. There's just the universe. There's everything in the universe that, you know, the light comes down from you from all these places at night, and you can just see all of them. assuming the sky is clear, of course. If it's raining, then you can't really see anything. But if it's clear, there's no clouds out, then you can just see everything. You're just looking up. You're just chilling like this. Oh man, what a nice sight, right? What a beautiful, wonderful sight. This is really bliss. This is bliss. That's kind of that's kind of my best analogy for for what the destination is like, what nirvana is like. But most people they are clouded by different thoughts, different fears, different I need this, I need that, I need to get away from this, I need to get away from that. And then there's emotions, fears that these thoughts cause. Or maybe you have PTSD, you can't let go of these things even if you try. You have anxiety, you can't stop being afraid of these things even if you try. Or maybe you have ADHD, your mind just keeps bouncing from here to there, you can't really stop. You have OCD, you just need everything to be perfect in your life, right? These are all different clouds in your mind. These are the clouds that block the night sky, that stop you from experiencing that divinity. These are all just blockages. That's another metaphor, is blockages of energy, chakras inside of you. When you're fully open and when you're fully accepting of the universe, you let go of all of your desires and aversions, then the energy flows through you cleanly, purely, without stopping at all. You experience a lot of energy. That's what that's what yogis and such, that's what they say. But when you hold on to things, when you tell your mind, oh, I need to fix this, I need to fix that, I need this, I need that, those are blockages inside you that blocks your energy. It causes your chakras to gum up. Then it kind of pulls you down to earth. It pulls you away from God, from divinity. I recently read a book by Michael Singer called The Untethered Soul. It's a pretty good book. It talks a lot about the same things. Excuse me. It talks about mostly the same things that I'm talking about here. Is just freeing yourself from thoughts and such, and finding God, finding divinity, becoming your own God. And his analogy was that of experiencing pure sunlight. Originally, he said, we are all just standing in sunlight. That's how consciousness originally was. That's what we were like before we had all these thoughts and emotions. That's the underlying state of our existence. Is just we are simply aware, we are conscious. And that is what the sunlight that he's talking about is in his analogy. But because the world is complicated and we need things to survive and we need to avoid things in order to survive, we have this mind, we have thoughts, we have feelings that we use, or maybe sometimes they control us, to fend off threats or get the things we need to survive or to reproduce and all of that. So there are these thoughts in our head, there are these feelings in our head, emotions, fears, desires, lust, anger, all of this stuff. In Michael Singer's analogy, this is the house we build around ourselves. This is what we build to protect ourselves from this big, complicated, unknowable universe. And this house shields us from the sunlight. It's not really what we intended to, but because we had to protect ourselves, we inadvertently cut ourselves off from the sunlight, from the light of God, from experiencing pure consciousness, from experiencing nirvana, from finding the end, the destination. So, because we're trapped in this house now, we can't get out. We feel like we have to stay in here. We fear. We want to stay safe. And this is what's holding us down. This is what's holding us away from God, and to find God once we're in this house, once we're in this fortress. Michael Singer says that we have to go through the walls that we constructed out of fear, right? These walls are our fears. We have to go out of these walls. We have to face our fears, walk through them. We have to just let go of them, let go of this fortress we've built, and go out into the universe, accepting everything that exists. And that is how we find God. That's what Michael Singer said. Let's talk about Christianity. In Christianity, people believe that Jesus is the Savior, that we should all be like Jesus. And what did Jesus teach? I think Jesus taught love. I think that was the most important thing that Jesus taught, is love. Be a good person, don't be a bad person. And there are specific things that Jesus told us that we should do and shouldn't do. But none of that's really all that important. The gist of it is that Jesus told us to love, to love ourselves, to love our neighbors. And and this also is what finding God looks like. Is love is healing. Love is assisting ourselves, assisting others, being there for people when they need it, not being there when they need to be alone. That's what love is. And it is this process of healing that love provides that also brings us closer to God. And so I think that's one of the things that Christianity got right. There are many other things, of course, but I don't really know that much about Christianity. Now let's talk about the way as described by Buddhism. Siddhartha Gautama, who became the Buddha, according to the traditions of Buddhism, was an Indian nobleman who lived 2,500 years ago, give or take. And he experienced all the suffering of the world. He wandered outside of his palace one day and he saw all the suffering of the world. He saw sick people, he saw starving people, he saw death for the first time in his life. And this was like when he was 40 or something. Before that, he was protected in his palace with all of his servants providing him everything he needed. He never even knew about suffering before this. And all of a sudden, he was shocked at all this suffering that existed outside of the palace. So he left everything behind. He left all of his palace, his family, I don't know if he had concubines, but he left those behind if he had them. He left his belongings. All that he had was his robe and I think a bowl to beg for alms. But eventually, he went to lots of different teachers. He tried many different ascetic practices, many different teachings of different gurus. But he was never satisfied with any of them. So eventually he decided just to sit under this tree and meditate until he found the answer. And he did find the answer, and according to Buddhist tradition, and he started teaching the way to others. He called it the middle way. It's now known as either that, the middle way, or the Noble Eightfold Path. But essentially what he taught was that life is suffering. If you don't let go of these things, you'll be reborn again and you'll suffer again, and you'll keep being reborn and keep suffering. But eventually, if you choose, then you can let go of all of your suffering, and then you can just experience pure bliss, pure peace. And that's what nirvana is, according to Buddhism. So that is what the way is. When you walk the way, you will experience, at the end of the way, you will experience nirvana, godhood, being one with God, divinity, pure bliss, pure peace. Just, total relaxation, total not a care in the world. That's pretty much what the way is. That's why the way exists, is to enter that state.